Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you how you can fatten up your mix using analog noise. We're going to be talking about noise today, but before we dive in, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process as a whole and really start to hone your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the thing for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist. It's a simple PDF that will guide you through the entire mixing process, step by step, to help you get professional, radio-ready mixes without the hassle and without the guesswork. It is completely free, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here and talk about using noise. This is not a technique I use all that often, honestly, but sometimes I like to throw it in and it helps to fatten up the mix a little bit. It gives it a little bit of that analog sheen, that analog vibe, and there's a couple different ways to do it. We'll talk about one of them, and I'm going to show you one of them because I don't know if I have the files to show you the second one anymore. But the first way we're going to talk about here is using Studio One's console shaper. They actually have a noise function built in. So we've talked about the drive function before. I leave this at 0. The noise function I have on the lowest setting, which is at 16 here. So I don't know if you can hear it. It's pretty subtle. When I turn it on and off here, you'll hear the noise kind of click on. And you can hear it die back there in the background. Now I'm going to show it to you at this subtle point, and then I'll kick it up and I'll show it to you at a couple of these other ones. And then of course at 96, it's pretty much just adding white noise in the background, which is pretty obvious. It's a more obvious effect if you want to go for something at that vibe. So we'll start with it off here. I'm leaving it at 16, so this is the lowest setting. This is the most subtle setting, but I want you to hear what it does to this mix here, okay? So I'm going to play this final chorus here. I want you to focus on the mix as I add in this noise, okay? Listen to how it changes. Listen to how it gets a little bit fatter, a little bit denser, and it has a little bit more analog sheen to it. It's not so flat sounding.
Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy.
It's a subtle difference, but I like what it does. When I click the noise on, to me it wakes up the top end a little bit, and it helps the mix feel not so flat. So you get a little bit of roll-off when you're pushing into kind of an analog console usually. Your highs aren't so harsh, and you usually have to push a little bit more low end into your console to get it to hit, because sometimes that harder hitting will roll it off a little bit. But I like what this does when I kick the noise in. It kind of helps to level out the top end a little bit. We get a little bit of a boost. It feels like it wakes up a little bit, but it doesn't get harsh in any way. And that's something you'll have to check when you're using noise. If you're adding noise, you want to make sure it doesn't bring up your top end too much, or it doesn't get harsh because it's clashing with the hi-hat or the top end on your vocals. Right here at the 16, it's a nice balance to me that you get a little bit of that sizzle from the noise, a little bit of that fatness from the analog vibe, but it doesn't clash with the top end on our hi-hat, the top end on our acoustic guitars, or the top end on our vocal. Let's kick it up to 24 here, so you can kind of hear it kick up a little bit. Now you can hear it when I turn it on. You can hear the noise. Let's try it at 24 here and see what happens when we click it on.
Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window.
To me here at the 24, it softens the top end in a way that I don't like. It kind of feels like a roll-off. When I clicked it in, the hi-hat changed in a way that I didn't like. It felt a little bit softer. It felt like it was pushing into something it couldn't quite get through. It felt like there was a little bit of a ceiling on the high end. I didn't like that. It was too much of a roll off for me. Let's go a little bit further though. Let's go to 48. So you can hear it and you can see it on all of our meters when I click it on. So obviously 96. That's just white noise there. You could use that if you were going for maybe a VHS type of sound or something like that. We'll try the 48 and the 72 here. And you know what? I'll throw the 98 in there too. So I'll hit play. We'll try our 48 on and off. We'll try our 72 on and off, and so forth. So we'll start off, and then we'll kick our 48 on.
Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window.
So at those higher settings, it feels like a balance fight to me actually. 48, 72, especially 96. Turning on and off that noise, it feels like a balance fight is the only way I can put it. When I click it on, it feels like the mix is fighting with something else for balance. So things get a little bit too crushed. It feels like everything pushes together a little bit too much, like there's something it's fighting, right? That's the balance fight I'm talking about. At these lower settings, it feels a little bit more natural. It feels like the noise from an analog console. It's not crazy. It's not like a broken console, right? It's just a little bit of noise, a little bit of sizzle on the top, a little bit of sizzle on the bottom to help things sit a little bit better together. I don't like the way the balance changes up at 96 or 72 or 48. 24, it just felt like it was kind of pushing the high end down. It felt like a roll off to me. I'm not sure why that was, because we're adding that noise. Maybe it's just that balance fight I'm hearing. But 16 is nice and even. It's just enough to kind of level out the top end a little bit, give it a little bit of sizzle, give it a little bit of analog vibe, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of fatness to the mix without it fighting for balance. Take a listen one more time without, and then I'll kick it in.
Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah, any time of day. See the drivers on the road, running down the heavy load. Where do they go? Look through any window, yeah.
A little bit of noise like this can help to inject a little bit of analog vibe, a little bit of warmth, and a little bit more fatness to your mix. So next time you're mixing, give this a shot. Maybe pull in a console shaper like this, or I'm not sure if the Waves console plugin does this. Tape machines can do it sometimes, and a lot of the Waves plugins have a little bit of a noise knob on them. See if adding a little bit of analog noise can give you a little bit more fatness on your mix. I hope that was helpful for you. As I said previously, if you're ready to take your mixes to the next level and start dialing in your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and you can download it below and start creating more professional mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.